they'll just pacify one or two people, make some persons billionaires and millionaires, and that's all. Do you know that the boys are still there hanging? It is most of them that are still doing this fire, this thing, that their warlords are sent to go into the streets. Then what have you done? They are still agents. They are still nothing has come out of it. In fact, we have really caused a huge problem in the society. These people now have now tested money. Honestly, they've now seen money that you cannot put them in any meaningful education. There is nothing you can do you just have to stop the situation in this Niger Delta. The core issues, what are the core issues? Solve it and punish those that have commit criminal activities for carrying guns, for holding people and kidnapping people because there are issues. When you don't punish people for criminal activities and you just pacify them and dash them money and put them, say you want to bring them back into the society, what have you done? You have done nothing, absolutely nothing. You have also, in fact, you have further aggravated the issues. So further aggravated the issues in the Niger Delta, they did not solve anything. That is my point.
All right, Muriel, thank you very much. All right, so first caller there is not impressed with the Presidential Amnesty Program. Many have highlighted the benefits. I've been to several skills acquisition programs. I've met with some individuals who actually benefited from the study abroad facilities across the states of the Niger Delta. I've met people who have started businesses. I've met people who have started loans from these schemes. So maybe it's a bit unfair to say, oh, it has not yielded any fruits as such. WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That last number is for the reception of WhatsApp messages only, please. All right. If you want to socialize with us with social media, we have Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH. We'll have a break coming up shortly. We'll be back in about 5 minutes and then we'll continue our conversations this morning. Very simple question, at least on paper. How would you rate the effectiveness of the Amnesty Program? Good morning. working, as we always talk, for development, and none more so for us here than the Niger Delta issue of militancy. You see, back in 2015 and 2016, I was in the northern parts of Nigeria. Yes, and I was feeling the pulse of our brothers and sisters over there and what they thought we were doing down south. Why they always blame pipelines? Don't they have this? Don't they have this? And where are the representatives? What's going on? Why did the lives? I hear that the oil is just flowing on the ground. It has killed people's lives. Everybody's dying. The government is wicked. Everybody had something to say about the issue at that time. But over the years, we've seen the Amnesty program, get people, both males, both females, which was very, very impressive, because a lot of the times, some observers kept wondering, why does it seem as though it's only the boys, the males, that were agitating? Oh, but hey, now they were cooking classes. You wanted to learn how to bake. There were programs for that. Uniforms were made. Scholarships were awarded. Now, the very first voice you listened to said, oh, they did something maritime, and then, they were meant to do it again for them. And that's the case for a lot of individuals. Some claim that, okay, they sent them abroad, they learned this thing, but they came back, no work. So, the Amnesty program, designed first and foremost to keep the peace within the Niger Delta, but more importantly, to make sure that the youths started to benefit from the natural resource in their region. How would you rate the program? Has it met its set out goals to be able to get people actively and gainfully employed, to see that the environment which was another big talking point, the environment which they live in was not decimated by the actions of exploration? How would you rate the presidential amnesty program thus far? My name is Jude. Welcome once again to Hello Port Harcourt. 0817-923-0002 is the number you can use to call us. You can also use this number 0817-923-0007. Once again, 0817-923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, 92.3 Nigeria Info, straight to the phone lines now. Good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, Jude, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Jude, there's this slogan you always use when it's time for this type of program. Not seen or heard, don't talk about it. Am I right? That's the way you put it.
Yes.
So let me talk about the one I have seen and encountered. Dude, sometimes in 2012, 2013, before 2015, I encountered some of those boys while we were working in some Bayelsa communities, right? They came, they said, oh, we're not going to stop work. We're doing some welding and fabrication job. We're not going to stop work. We are the Amnesty people. We're trained in welding and fabrication in South Africa. I say, wow. Bros, thank God, you're welcome. We brought them to Port Harcourt, kept them in one of the best hotels, provided a bus for them to go to our workshop then, so that, if you leave something for some time now, so that you can warm up. We'll give them 3 days so that they can practice and
prepare.
On the day we're supposed to be on Saturday, those who gave us the job, which is the mother company, they were there. Our QC, they were all on ground. We also called the test material for them and did everything. Jude, when you're doing those tests too, you have to get a timer. Maybe the QC will be the one to time you when you start and when you finish. Then they will now X-ray and all those put together, right?
Okay.
Dude, the simplest welding method, not even pipeline welding and all those, it's just structural welding. And the simplest method, guy, these people could, all of them, they were 20 in number, none of them passed visual test. You know what they call visual test? That is looking at it with your own eyes.
Yes, yeah.
Before you now go for X-ray. None of them pass. So you don't even need to waste your money to bring any X-ray here. Oh, say, bro, they're not teaching us this one, no. The simplest, so they're not teaching us this one. So I will read the Amnesty program, maybe 40%, because some persons too have also made waves. I learned some people who were trained in pilots. They have been good, they've been employed, and all those put together. But for this set of people, if you want me to use them to judge the Amnesty program, I will tell you it's total zero. Because later they were telling me, oh, they were clubbing, they were doing this, they were doing that. How do you take people from here to all the way to South Africa? Meanwhile, within the period, ASU was on strike. They needed, I think, 90 billion. No, they needed 60 billion to call off the strike. The president after then budgeted 90 billion for how many people? You'd put them now. For that program, for those who I've encountered, 0/100. Thank you very much. If you don't have any questions.
All right, thank you very much, DJ. Let's get to speak to Justice, who's on the line from Ahoda, and we have Zion on the line in GRA. Justice, go on. 2 minutes, please.
Oh, yes. Dude, good morning.
Good morning.
Simple Justice calling from Ahoda.
Go on.
You see, Miriam has said all. Miriam, the last speaker before they came on board, she has said all. I don't think that amnesty is useful. It's useful because the federal government ended up nurturing more warlords. Jude, will you believe it that thousands and thousands of boys are still rolling into that particular act? Thousands, more, they are recruiting more. So what is going to be the future? What is going to be the reaction of the youth in the future? They send them to outside country, good and fine, but they never made any provision for them to, just like JD has been explaining. No experience, nothing. And you expect this amnesty to be useful? No, it's just more or less, they are what we call a subservient way of doing things, pretending to be helping while you are not helping.
I see.
The federal government has really failed us, honestly speaking.
Okay, Justice.
And watch out, this Ogoni issue, you will see another outcome of it. It will end in nullity. Nothing positive will come out of it. Hopefully.
Well, Justice, thank you very much. Skepticism rife and totally understandable. We have Zion on the line from Jerry. Zion, good morning. 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
You see, this topic you brought for discourse as being pessimistic in the rationalist reduction that exhibited a criminal arrangement by then federal government that exhibited the ineptitude to fight and deal with the issue of crime. Nigeria is a country that breeds crime and criminality. The amnesty program is criminally arranged to further exhibit crime in this country. I want to ask you, sir, this is the post-amnesty era. Think carefully. Thank God you are of age in this region. The kind of crimes being committed then, before the criminal activities we should call agitation, and the post-era, can you tell me which of the crime you see now and then? This amnesty program was basically orchestrated to sponsor criminality in the region. I was given 50 slots. I rejected it because I know the consequences.
50 slots for what, please? 50 slots for what, please?
I'm part of your agitation. My voice is heard in the region. Now today they hear my voice for radio. Now today they hear about my activities in the region. So they said they'll give you chance to bring. That is my settlement.
Bring 50 people to so that you can train them.
You know the FGC at Merumokoro. That is everything was done now. See, I will never be part of those arrangements. No matter. See, Jude, until we have sincere Nigerians, truthful Nigerians who can take a stand, I will not be part of this criminality. That is only way we can get it right. Look at the billions we have invested or spent in this amnesty. Tell me one amnesty person that is paying a tax in commensurate, in proportion to what amnesty has given to him. Tell me one out of the 5,000 that were registered. Sir, let me be honest to you. Amnesty only opened door for more crime to be committed in this region. The billions being spent, the Niger Delta is poor, we are suffering, we agree. They have given you people amnesty. Tell me the change you are seeing. Show me one state-of-the-art world-class university, state-of-the-art revolution area, a concentration area that can train these young people, invite them not to commit crime.
Okay. All right, Zion, thank you very much. Time up because we have to get to other callers. Time is money, and a view to get somebody to give more is where we are. Oh, don't forget, we are talking about development. Now, good morning to you, Jude. The Amnesty program is a welcome development, but what vexes me the most is that the program was brought for the aim of quelling these guys, not to agitate much. The program became a mess. Its aim was not actualized. The federal government tricked the agitators, as I feel, and the aim to dislodge the intentions of those guys from not achieving the aim of the agitation. It was defeated with the aim of introduction of the amnesty program. Ipalebo Harry. Okay, all right, thank you very much. Ipalebo Harry, Facebook and X. Let's get there. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, that's where you find us on Facebook. Join the conversation. We're streaming live all over the world. People can and are watching and following conversations right here on Nigeria Info PH. Now, this one says, yes, this on WhatsApp now says, yes, it has met its goals. Now, because the way I see it, it was set up to reward bad behavior that comes from a place of entitlement. There are people who obey the laws, yet don't even get a look in. But the people who take up arms, harm other people, and are wicked nuisance are the ones the government is sending abroad. So why will crime and deviancy end? Even after going abroad, it didn't occur to them that they can start businesses to employ others, like some of us who traveled out on our own did. Who told them that there is any country in the world where every graduate gets a job? There is no difference between this and those who knowingly hurt someone, and after a while, something bad happens to them. So spiritual leaders say that they have offended someone and the gods are angry. Then they go to their victim, whom they try to blackmail with crocodile tears. Others will also harass the victim to fake amnesia in the name of forgiving and forgetting. What that tells people is you can behave anyhow, harm anyone, and there will be no real or lasting repercussions. Now, this sentiment, this from Anonymous, this sentiment was one of the biggest talking points, I'd say, about a decade ago. All right? About a decade. This was after the program started, and people were seeing, that okay, there was a stark reduction in pipeline vandalization, in the obstruction of economic activities across the Niger Delta. People were no longer having cases where, workers come through and maybe they're either trying to weld a pipeline or put a gas line, or they were fixing some installation, and then people come, hey, our boys must do the work. Amnesty boys, if you don't, sort of what JJ said, as more and more people came through. But it became a big problem. I don't know if the managers of this program are listening, but it became a big problem when it started to become commercialized. Like I said, people were offered forms. Come and fill form as a militant, an ex-militant. Come and fill forms. In fact, I think I was offered one. And then, in my own little world, as a much younger person then, I was in my 20s then, I kept asking myself, would I want to tell because it's going to be on record. If you don't know now. Would I want to tell my children at some point in time that I was a militant? Not because the word itself is bad, right? Because a militant is somebody who, quote unquote, militates against established order. Maybe that order is oppressive. Maybe that order is not appropriate, doesn't suit them, right? So that person says, you know what? I want to be a freedom fighter. I don't like this thing. That is a militant. However, would I want to tell my children that I was a militant in the Niger Delta so that I could get money to go to school and buy Benz and, give birth to them? That was it. Because I do not know if that's the same scenario that's happening now, but a lot of people were worried that, okay, if the government starts to pay stipends, all right, or stipends to individuals, agitators, restive youth, however you want to call them, how long will they pay? Now, let me schedule the news. This is on Saturday. Now, speaking on this, the executive director of We the People, Ken Henshaw, told our correspondent, Soibi Oruwari, that while the program helped reduce hostilities, it failed to address the root economic issues that led to unrest in the first place. So what were those issues? Why were they not addressed? And are they still the way they are? Or have they been addressed? Are they in the process or processes of being addressed as we speak? These are very valid questions. Because, yes, thankfully, our friends and our colleagues, who are in the US, who call us family members, thank God, it don't be like that year, 2015, 2014, if you go work. Those days, people who were looking for oil company jobs were scared. They were scared because you could go and you would not return. Oh, yes. You would go, but you can't tell if you are going to return. Why? Because bad boys, they click. Bad boys. What were those issues? Why have they, or are they in the process, once again, of being sorted?
Since the presidential amnesty program was instituted, we have not seen any attempt to assess or clean up the pollution caused by hydrocarbon pollution or the carbon extraction in the Niger Delta region. What we have seen on the other hand, pollution has increased, and the quest for ecological justice by Niger Delta communities has been hampered by the fact that the polluting multinational oil companies are all selling off their assets and they are leaving the Niger Delta region, making it more difficult for people to get this ecological justice, from the region. So in terms of the core demands of the amnesty program, none of it has been achieved.
Well, that's Henshaw. Don't take my word for it. Once again, let's get back to you. Conversations continue. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. Good morning, Jude. I was also approached by some guy to accept to be an ex-militant so that I can go abroad or get a scholarship. I just finished NYSC then. This was in 2015. I just said no. I can't carry that tag ex-militant just to get what I should ordinarily get from my own government. The program has been abused as usual. No name to that message. No name. But yeah, the sentiments are very valid. Now, this is a very interesting message here. It's all related. I think I have to reply this personally. Okay? Okay. All right. We'll address this personally. So to the phone lines now, 0817-923-0002. The question, once again, if you just join us, good morning to you. And it is about the amnesty program. How would you rate the effect of the amnesty program since 2010? It's been 15 years now. 15 years. Braid is on the line from OGRA. Braid, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you, Braid.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, I think what we are discussing, I don't know whether our leaders, the political elite, they are listening to this discussion. The Niger Delta Amnesty, for me, I look at it that it's a total failure. Yes, if I said it's a total failure, how many of the youth that has been trained that can really set out to say, let me retrain another youth? Yeah, 50,000 they are given to them as a stipends. What would that give to them as compared to our minimum wage today?
But that money was given to them years before the minimum wage was even revised.
Yes, during the time they gave them that money.
That was a lot of money.
Minimum wage was 18,000. Yes. At this point in time, can the government review that stipend that's being given to the Niger Delta?
But why should the government do that, knowing fully well that there are other people right now who have now opened theirs and say, hey, look, we are not carrying guns, we're not blowing pipeline. Why can't you make the infrastructure better for us rather than giving a small group of people that same amount of money?
You know, when you are dealing with government, they are always trickish. They want to give you with right and they want to take it with left. Because without quelling those our youths, they cannot be able to collect the oil. The other youths does not have any confrontation with the government. So they feel that this youth has confrontation without trying to settle this youth. There is no how the federal IGR or the oil money could be able to rise up. Because if you agree with me, during that period of time, there is a lot of loss of oil.
Revenue, yes.
The revenue was going down. It was going down. So what Yaradua feel is to pacify the Niger Delta youth as such that the government will have an enabling environment to begin to exploit the oil. So for me, it has not done any good thing to the Niger Delta.
Really?
Because a lot of youth that they are supposed to have good environment, have a good school, good environment for studies, we don't have so rock. Even the Aso Rock, if you agree with me, sometime a president's wife cried out concerning what is going on. So that is the kind of country we have. Look, if they use half of the resources that is coming inside this country to better the lot of the country at large, Nigeria will be a better place.
All right.
Look at how many trillion. Look at how many trillion the National Assembly is crying out for NNPC to come and give account. 210 trillion.
All right, Braid.
How many years budget?
Braid, I'm sorry, but we have to wrap up with some messages here as we go on a break. And this one here says, good morning. I would rate the Amnesty program of 45% because some people genuinely benefited and it got a lot of people away from harming or causing problems on our streets. But overall, it has been abused. We're back after this break, please.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.